Gideon, the fearful man who became a fearless leader. What if the person chosen to save a nation was hiding in fear when God found him? Not a king, not a warrior, not confident at all, but a scared farmer just trying to survive. This is a story about Gideon. During Gideon's time, Israel was in trouble. Every year, enemies called the Midianites invaded Israel, stealing their crops, their animals, destroying their village, just clearly harassing them because they knew they had more soldiers, they were stronger than the Israelites. The Israelites cried out to God, and God answered them by sending an unlikely hero. The Bible doesn't really tell us much about the history of Gideon and all, but from Gideon himself, he said his clan is the least of the clans that they had. And even in his father's house, he was the least amongst the people in his father's house. So why him, But God doesn't think like we do. So one day when Gideon was hiding to thresh his crops, the wheat that he had to hide in a cave to be able to do that successfully without the Midianites invading or taking his crops from them or stealing his crops. So while he was hiding, doing that, just minding his business, something strange happened to him. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, "The Lord is with you, O mighty warrior." He said, "Warrior? Where? Who? Me?" He was in shock that, first of all, the angel of the Lord appeared to him, of all people, then calling him a warrior and telling him that the Lord is with him. And Gideon said, if you're with us, how come the Midianites are here harassing us and you haven't done anything about it? And God said, my people have cried, and I'm ready to deliver them, and I'm going to use you, Gideon. Gideon, he was scared. He wasn't used to being spoken to by the Lord, So he said, I need a sign. And God, being patient, said, okay. He prepared a meal, and miraculously fire came and consumed the meal. And I was like, okay. He said another thing, let the fleas be wet with dew and the ground be dry. And God said, okay, I'll do that for you. And God made the fleas wet and the ground dry. And he said, okay, let's flip it. Let's reverse it. Let's change the strategy. He said, let the ground be wet and the fleas be dry. And God did the same thing, did it for him. And that grew his faith. And God told Gideon, before I can walk with you, you have to clean your house, clean shop, So the Israelites are known to bring other gods, bring in idols, have altars for other gods. So at night, Gideon, he went at night, he destroyed the temples of other gods and erected a clean and new temple for the Lord. The Israelites, when they woke up and saw what Gideon did, they were furious. There were people living in fear, and the small thing they could see was those temples. And Gideon, nobody had destroyed it, and they were really coming for him. But his father defended him and saved his life. And Gideon knew this was game on. So the Lord told him to call for an army. So the Israelites gathered men land, to go fight the Midianites. And God said something strange again to him. He told him, you have too many soldiers. It's like, do you know the people who are going to fight, the Midianites? Well, God told him, reduce the number. So he called the people that gathered and told them, if you're scared, you have doubt or anything, go home. 22,000 of them left. So he was, okay, we're going to work with this number. And God said, no. The people are still too much. You have too many men. And God also gave him a strategy to eliminate the number he needed to. So when he did that, 10,000 men left again. So he was left with just 300. And God said, ideal number, 300 men. And God said, you're not going to this wall with knife or spears or whatever you have. You're just going to go with trumpets, a clay jar with a torch inside of it. And God said, let's go into the camp at night. So they went to the camp of the Midianites at night, not charging with the trumpet or charging with the clay jar. God just told Gideon, when it's time, I'll tell you, you tell your soldiers to blow this trumpet, break the clay jar that has the torch inside. And that was what they did. They just surrounded the camp of the Midianites. Gideon signaled them, they blew the trumpet, broke the clay jar, and there was chaos in the camp of the Midianites. They were scared. Out of fear, they started fighting each other, killing themselves. And that was how the Israelites won the war, without even swinging a sword. And Gideon, that was a nobody, was now respected by everybody in Israel, to a point that they even wanted him to become the king. And he said, no, the Lord will rule over you. Not because Gideon didn't win the war because he was righteous or better than every other person. Because during his reign, during his time, he made decisions that misled the Israelites. But a good thing on his part is that during his reign, he was able to bring peace. The Israelites had peace for 40 years. He died peacefully. But sadly, the Israelites, after he died, they went back to serving other gods and went back to their old ways. The story of Gideon teaches us that, sometimes we think that what God requires for us, that we don't qualify for it. But we are not the ones that qualify ourselves. It's God that qualifies us. And God doesn't judge us or see us the way we see ourselves. God sees us in a different light. So, and what I also learned from this story is that God wants all glory to himself. He doesn't want you, when you walk with him, to think it's all that you did it yourself. That God is the one that gives you the strength, the wisdom, the strategy to win in life. So what we have to do is, when he calls us, no matter how scared we are, no matter how impossible the task set before us is for us, we should know that God has our back. Okay? So I hope when God calls you, as he has been calling you, that you answer, even when you think you're not qualified enough. It's God who qualifies. So that's the story of Gideon. So tell me, what other story do you want me to tell you? What other Bible story do you want me to tell you? All right. Have a lovely day. Bye.